welcome to the Ladies' Room. I'm your host, Judy McDowell, and today with me, one of my favorite guests, Dede Lyons, and she has a company called the Feel Good Express, and believe me, she does make you feel good. Go to her workshops. And with her today is Charity Joy Robinson, who has the Charity Joy Movement project, which is dance classes, and you guys have been collaborating. And I went to one of your workshops, and you've been journaling with angels now. You really have, like, come out of the closet with the angels big time, Dede.
Yes.
So that day was amazing. Well, first of all, it was in that beautiful tent at Channing Daughters.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And your energy is so good. And we first journaled with angels, and then we danced with Charity Joy, and it was just a beautiful day. So how did you meet, and what made you start collaborating?
Well, Charity and I both met. We were at an art event, and she was doing classes, just started to do classes there in the Barefoot Room. And I saw her.
In the Barefoot Room? What's the Barefoot Room?
It's an art studio of Dan Weldon's. He does solar printing.
Is he in Shelter Island? Or?
No, he's right in Sag Harbor, Millstone. Okay. Yeah, so I was doing my classes there, and we were both at the event. We met each other. Dede came right up to me. I was showing the space where I had my dance classes. And she said something about angels, and immediately we were, like, glued together.
Yeah. And then I saw her fairy tattoo.
And where is that tattoo?
It's on my stomach.
And she had her, a high top on.
Okay.
So I could see I was like, oh my God, fairies, angels. I got to meet this girl and take dance classes with her. So I started the dance classes, and then the dance classes eventually moved to the beach on Monday nights, Sag Main Beach at 6 o'clock.
To the drumming.
Yes, we had
what
drumming
fun.
sometimes, and so we were doing these dance classes, and I was getting so energized. So we did them all the way through July, and then the next thing we know, you took you tell me you took an angel session with me.
Yep, I did an angel one-on-one session with her, and after the session I said, hey, what do you think about us collaborating and doing something together, angels and dancing?
Yeah, so hence the title of our show, Angels Dance.
Yes, and they do, and they were dancing a lot when we were doing our class. I could see them up there.
What's your favorite, after this experience with Dede now and the angels, do you have a favorite angel?
I don't have a favorite. I think they all play a big part in my life. So I can't say today I picked Ragul, so maybe that's my favorite today, but it changes every day.
I picked Ragul. I'd never heard of Ragul. You brought your cards. We'll pick cards at the end of the show.
Yeah, that would be fun. And Ragul
came to bat for us big time. It was amazing. Yeah. So, Dede, tell the viewers about your Feel Good Express empowerment workshops.
Okay. Feel Good Express is a lifestyle program, and it's all about balancing mind, body, and spirit. And I always have this triangle theme that permeates everything. And what I do is, whether you come to see me one-on-one or it's in a workshop, I'll open up a space for you, you step into it, and then I'll give you empowerment tools that will help you manifest what you need to manifest. It could be a new career opportunity, more self-love, a connection to your guardian angel, more playtime. And it's that easy and fun, and I enjoy it so much.
Do a lot of people come just asking for more playtime?
Yes.
Really? Oh, please.
Okay,
they must
a lot
need more help than that.
A lot of working women with children.
Okay.
And they're like, oh, I don't have time to play. I have to do this, 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 and this. You know, the to-do list of the average working woman is very intense. So they don't come just for that, but I put that in their program right away because they're in overwhelmed mode.
And how do you put it in their program? Do you say you have to set it aside? Do you get their schedule and say, well, you have to set time aside?
Well, I'll find out that they're really not feeling joyful, and they're not really approaching the world with that childlike enthusiasm, and it's kind of buried somewhere. So I put that in someone's program, and that's a lot of people are in that mode of
Right.
being overwhelmed and not really getting to feel their joy.
Put on the dance music on the TV and dance around in your bedroom before you go to sleep, right?
Right.
I was just thinking, in the car, I was like doing vocal exercises because I like to sing. And I'm going to visit with a friend that we're going to write a song together and do some singing. And because I have no privacy at home, because our daughter is back living at home for the moment, I don't get to like just sing out, Louise.
Right.
You know, and I really love to sing.
Yes,
But-
that's a great thing to do. Sing any kind of
Dancing,
thing.
moving
Yes.
your body, charity
Yes.
joy. Now, do you just go charity or charity joy always?
Charity Joy. Some people will just call me Joy.
And your mom gave you those two wonderful names?
Yeah, she did.
Was your mom a hippie?
A little bit.
Oh, that's
She
so
still
great.
is.
That's so great. More than you, more of a hippie
She
than
is
you
a
are.
great mom. I just met her. She was visiting a couple of weeks from Wisconsin, and she was fabulous.
So you do Thai yoga massage?
I do Thai yoga
Now,
massage.
did you become a yoga teacher? Have you always been a dancer?
I started dancing when I was about 19.
Okay.
I was living in France at the time, and I saw some break dancers on the street in Toulouse. And as soon as I saw them, I said, I want to do that. And one of the kids that I was a nanny for, she was a dancer. And so she introduced me to a bunch of studios in the town that we lived nearby, and I started taking classes. And within 3 years, I was teaching breakdancing to kids.
Break dancing.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So
My next question was going to be, what kind of dance do you do? And
Yeah.
also break dancing. So modern dance. Did you
I
have
wasn't
any
doing
ballet?
breakdancing on the beach, just so you
Don't
know.
lie to me,
Exactly.
Dede.
I
Don't
was
lie to
doing-
me.
I was doing the African
lot of sand in the mouth if you do breakdancing on the beach.
Well, breakdancing led into more African dance, Caribbean dance, and I lived in the Caribbean for 6 years.
Oh, where did you live?
I lived in Mystique in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. It's a private island.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I lived in Dominica and Barbados.
I've
and then
always wanted to go to Dominica, but when I was headed there, it was devastated by a hurricane, and Dominica has 365 waterfalls, so it must be rainbows everywhere you look.
always, it's beautiful.
I'd love to go there. It's just all jungly.
Yeah, it's very jungly.
How long did you live there?
I was there for almost 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a woman there named Ranger that had a guest house that was like tree houses. And I had an Irish setter, and she got one of my Irish setter's puppies. Are there any Irish setters on Dominica? Did you notice any?
I didn't notice any.
I'm sure she studied that dog out. 'Cause it was gorgeous. How lucky are you to live in the islands for how long? 7 years?
6 years, yeah.
6 years. That's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, so the dancing just really took on. I was doing dance, and then I wanted to teach yoga as well. And I was searching for a teacher training program. And I was in Asia at the time because I moved to South Korea to do more break dancing for a year with the top breakers in the world. So I did that.
Who are in Korea, of all places?
Yeah, they're in Korea. It's a huge business there. Huge business. And while I was there, I went to Thailand. Anyways, my path brought me back to the States where I found a teacher training in Chicago. And I did my yoga teacher training. So it's all kind of melded together. And while living in Asia, I went to Thailand, did my Thai massage training. And I go back every couple of years to Thailand to re-educate myself and get massaged myself by the Thai ladies. And so my whole Charity Joy movement it's a mix of all these different ways of moving and being with your body in a joyful way.
Wow. And you make kombucha tea?
Yeah.
You just whip that up in your kitchen?
Yeah, so far that's what I've been doing. And
But it says
eventually, kombucha.
Kombucha.
Yeah.
Kombucha, kombucha.
So we're
So these-
combating all the
Right,
toxins.
Right, I get it. The martial art reference on the...
Right.
And so what are these flavors here?
The yellow one is lavender, and I got the lavender from the North Fork Farm.
Nice.
They have a lavender farm up there. And then the blueberry ginger is the pink one.
Wow.
Yeah.
And kombucha, so it's tea that you pour vinegar in, or?
It's a fermented tea, and you use SCOBY, which is a symbiotic
Is it a
mushroom.
It's a mushroom.
Yeah, and it ferments the tea.
And
so
it's really healthful, right?
Yeah.
It's like good for all kinds of stuff.
It helps you to lose weight. It cleans out your intestines. Some people have a very big reaction to it. Some people won't. So I always tell people just drink a small amount to start. See how you feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My daughter slugs back apple cider vinegar
That's another
every day, and I think, mix it with a little seltzer or something, because it seems like it would burn your esophagus, because she just takes it straight.
Oh, yeah.
Mom, I always drink water right after, but I'm like, yeah, but the initial burn, feel the burn a good thing? I don't know if it's apple cider vinegar in your throat. So, are you guys going to be doing workshops in the future? What's the future of this?
We're planning to do more in the spring and the summer next year, because I'm actually going to be heading back to West Palm Beach,
you have such a
where I
tough
am the other
life.
6 months out of the year, so I'm leaving in mid-November. But we're planning on doing more, and we want to merge them a little differently. We were talking about that yesterday, how we want to have the first workshop we just did was all angels and then all dancing. So we want to have dancing through and angels and journaling all merged and blended.
Oh, poetry in motion. Maybe you should have people spouting out things and record, and have a recorder going, and then come out with a big, poem at the end for that workshop.
Right.
Maybe you'll.
Can you dance and journal?
There's no right way, just right. So, Charity, where are you doing classes now?
Right now I'm teaching yoga in Amagansett at Mandala.
Oh, that's such a nice studio.
Yeah.
And nice people.
Yeah, it's quaint, and I like it because my classes aren't huge, and I kind of like to have a little more personal time with students. I don't really like 50 people and you can't see what everyone's doing, because it's nice to be able to cater to each person.
Yeah, you need to see if they're in the position correctly and straighten them up or whatever, because they can hurt their neck.
Yeah, there's a lot of different things people do. If they're
What's
not
the
sure.
difference between regular yoga, or is there even any such thing as regular yoga? I mean, every new yoga teacher gives it their name. Yeah. What's the difference between yoga from the 60s and 70s and Thai yoga?
Well, Thai yoga is a massage, so that is something completely different. That's where you're on a mat.
That's very different.
And so the person who's giving, which would be me, is putting the person who's receiving in different yoga poses, but stretching them and working the meridian lines, the energetic lines in the body. So that's more of a one-on-one session, whereas my yoga classes are more, there's some dance throughout it. I just like people to have like more of a meaning when they're doing yoga. Or, I have a theme for each class rather than, we're just going to do these poses. I like my last class was lean into simplicity, let go of complexity. So each class I try to focus on something that people can also bring their mind to a different level rather than just body.
Well, I would think that because it involves massage and placing people in the positions, you would have to have smaller classes and more interaction with the...
Yeah, and I try to do some of the Thai massage in my bigger classes, like in my classes at Mandala. But if people want just a Thai yoga massage, they usually book that.
Yeah, that would be a one-on-one.
Yeah.
Who was your teacher in Chicago? Is he from Thailand or?
No. I did my yoga teacher training with an American guy. He has an Ashtanga background.
Ashtanga.
Yeah.
So Ashtanga is the one where you kind of jump into the positions, right?
Yeah, it's a little more flow. But I studied under many different teachers throughout my training and throughout my life. So I've been practicing almost 20 years. Yeah. So, I like to integrate different things.
I teach integral yoga. I studied with Swami Satchidananda.
Okay.
And his whole thing it's 5 different kinds of yoga. It starts with bhakti, it starts with centering, with chanting, and then eye exercises, which I don't know what kind of yoga that is, but eye exercises. Yeah. And then the hatha, because the whole point of the hatha is to quiet the body so that you're not twitching and aching during meditation. And then pranayama. Do you do any pranayama? The breathing and then deep relaxation and then meditation. And It's so many people into yoga now. I mean, geez, it's like
Yeah.
the biggest craze ever. I hope people stick with it because it's really, even Miley Cyrus is growing up, and you know, she's like a different person now since she started doing yoga. Not so crazy anymore. So, what has been your focus of the Feel Good Express workshops this season, and are you going to? Well, you said you're going to do more stuff together for next season, but what do you see as the future of the Feel Good Express workshops?
Right now, and just in the fall, started a shift into angels. Like you said, my angels are out of the closet. So I've been doing more angel one-on-one sessions and workshops because it feels like people really want that. Like people really want to feel connected and feel like there's an unseen helper that can guide them, and it makes them feel safer. So I see that right off the bat. But I'd like to shift more into now is helping young women, because I'm getting a lot more young women either in my workshops or else coming just to me privately, going into the schools and speaking to women who are transitioning into careers. Because I was in broadcast sales and marketing for 32 years, and I had to cultivate and nurture and hire and motivate young people and get them on that career path. So I know a lot about the interviewing process and what some of the most important things are for gifts to project onto the world when you go through that transition. So I want to do more of that, more speaking engagements.
And when you work with these you're Skyping with, you're doing one-on-one sessions now too, right?
Skype. I Skype. I have a client in London and one in San Francisco.
That's interesting. And are you feeling like you're becoming more psychic, and are you like picking up stuff from them, and are they, it's like 20 questions. and then.
Right.
But are they like really feeling like they're really connecting with an angel or the angels, or what is their takeaway from a session with you?
Okay. You're up. She had a session with me.
You had a one-on-one session?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's hear about it.
Well, when I did my session, Dede had me pick 3 goals, 3 things that I was wanting to work towards, and one of the main goals was finding a place to live out here year-round. And, you know, I took on everybody's point of view that, it's really hard, you won't find anything year-round, not for that price. So what Dede had me do was go and write specifically what I wanted to look like, how much I wanted to spend, where I wanted it to be, close to the beach, this, that, and the other, very, very specific. And I would say it was about a month or so after, and I kept calling Dede because she was gone. I said, when is this going to happen? I keep talking to the angels. I keep journaling to the angels. Like, when is this going to happen?
There's no such thing as time.
And I was in the south of France, and I was loving hearing from her, but I was like, it's coming, it's coming. I swear it's coming. So.
And it did come. I saw an ad for a little carriage house in Sag Harbor, and I called.
Perfect.
And they had over 50 people look at it, and they said, it's yours if you want it. And as soon as I saw it, I said, yeah, I want this place.
And it was exactly what she had on her list.
Oh, how perfect.
Yeah. There was a few things I forgot to put, but but for the most part, I love it. I love it. It's in the location I want to be. It's year-round. The landlords are amazing. So it was great. So it was, because Dede had me like really manifesting
you really need
putting
to,
my intentions
and
down.
especially at the time of the new moon, which is now.
Yes.
The new moon was yesterday, so within the 24 hours of the new moon, if you write like 10 intentions, like I easily
Moon
find
wishes.
the place I want, and I easily can let go of such and such, and I easily can get these tenants to get out of my house. I'm writing last night all this stuff.
I do that every moon, full moon and new moon, just writing things out. Because I'm actually writing a book right now, and I go back through all my journals, and I see where I've written things that I wanted to manifest, and it always happens. So I always say the power of intention is very powerful.
And that's all that happens. It really is. I'm giving tools during our session. We go over their specific goals, and then I give them we talk about what are your obstacles, what's blocking you from getting these goals, and then what are some of the solutions moving forward to help you get these goals. So we do all this together in the session. So they start to see, oh my God, these are my goals, this is how I'm blocking them, these are the solutions. And then soon after that, and they've got all their intentions clear before the session ends, they know that they can get there because they have the tools and they have the higher knowing and the guidance of their guardian angel. So it just kind of, if you follow that path and use the tools.
And be very clear about your intentions,
Yes.
because your subconscious doesn't have a sense of humor. And most people give their subconscious like such mixed signals, you know, like they worry about like, oh, this and oh, that, and what if this happens, and what if that happens, and your subconscious is like, what? And should I create that? Should I create that?
Right.
But if you clearly give it the message, then it clearly has a path for manifestation. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's important.
Yeah.
So where are you from originally, and how did you become a world traveler?
I'm originally from Canada, Alberta, Canada. And then I grew up most of my childhood in Wisconsin, in the Midwest. And when I was about 19, well, when I was 16, I always said, I'm going to travel, and I'm going to move to a new place every year of my life. And living in rural Wisconsin, people say, oh, yeah, you're young. You're
a dreamer.
You know, you're a
dreamer.
You know, they called me crazy, called me everything. I said, okay. So when I was 19, I bought a one-way ticket to France. And I ended up staying in Europe for 5 years as an au pair, and then picking up different jobs. And I had studied fashion design before, so I was making clothes and selling them and doing fashion shows. And then I just kind of kept on that path of traveling. I would come back to the States, visit family, and then kind of decide, okay, what's next?
Yeah.
South Korea, okay, Japan.
South Korea.
And then I just kept it moving. And that's why Charity Joy Movement is not just about moving the body. It's actually moving throughout the world, too.
Wow. Exciting life. What made you decide to stay in Sag Harbor?
Well, I came here last year for the Yoga Fest, and just to check it out.
Had you ever been out here before?
No. I had been to the city working with clients throughout the last couple of years, and I thought, let me go check this place out. And I just fell in love with the nature.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so beautiful out here, and the lighting, and I thought, this would be a perfect place to write my book. And, you know, so I came last November, and I was kind of hopping around, and now I have a place for a year, and I go to the city during the week for a few days. So I fell in love with the nature, and I'm really out there when it's nice. Beach, biking, hiking. I love it.
Great.
Yeah.
So what's inspiring you girls to keep this all going and working together? And where do you inspire other people all the time. What inspires you?
I would say people. people
who need people.
The luckiest people.
We are.
It really is people. I love meeting new people and having new experiences and learning about what makes them tick and what inspires them. And I love to look at everybody in every new situation with fresh eyes.
Yeah.
I do look at the world through a child's eyes in a lot of respects, and try to keep that playful side up and out and help other people do it, because, you know, I actually had a presentation yesterday at New Thought Spiritual Center, and I spoke on enthusiasm. And I had, you know, my baby picture, one of my grandson's baby pictures, and say, look, you know, there's that sparkle in our eyes. We all here at one point. Yeah. And then life took over, and, you know, whether it's loss or grief or trauma, but that little girl or little boy is inside and wants to play. And that keeps
Or also growing up with parents who say no a lot, because we're of a general, not you, Charity, and not you so much either, but like my parents and their parents, the Depression and World War II, and you can't do this and you can't do that, and no, and if you get your feet wet, you're going to get a cold, and it was like everything was no, 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 and really everything should be yes, 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 and if a child is maybe going down a wrong path or doing something a wrong way, instead of saying, no, that's wrong, saying, well, look, you could do it this way, or you could do it this way, or why don't we do it that way?
Right.
And keeping that enthusiasm going and keeping not being so set in our ways, because we box ourselves in as adults even, because we have all this negative programming, even though we don't realize it. We have to get that all out of our psyche because they're deep grooves.
Yes.
And as we think in new ways, with new thought and inspiration from people like you, those grooves fill in and the dancing grooves start.
Yes.
Angel
and I
grooves.
felt that connection when I met Charity. Like has that very like playful side, you know, inspired by life. Like if we see a cloud in the sky that's shaped like a feather, we're like, oh, look, the angels are here. You know, so it's very magical.
Yeah. So you write articles all winter when you're in Florida. You're the traveling girl now, boy. You go to Europe every summer and Florida every winter.
We're very fortunate because we rent our house to a lovely couple every August, and then my husband and I just get out there and go, okay, we got to go.
So you're moving and you're staying around for a while. Where do you teach your dance classes now?
Right now I'm teaching at the Ross School.
At the Ross School?
Yeah, at the upper
campus.
campus.
You have a 6-week workshop coming up?
It's a 4-week session, and it started last week, so 3 more sessions every Monday at 6.
And I believe
Tonight.
your websites are on your Twitter and your website are up there. We need your takeaways because we're going away in a minute. So, takeaway?
My takeaway is be brave, be bold, be spontaneous, enjoy every moment to the fullest with joy and ease.
And with joy, charity. Charity, joy. Your takeaway?
When you look at the world through a child's eyes, you will always find the magic.
All right, and my takeaway is, ladies, give yourself lots of room. Room for love, room for fun, room to grow, and room to glow. And these girls will make you glow big time. Look them up.